for the good times.
This is Fred Foy. Join us now as we travel back in time and relive some of the magic that was part of the golden age of radio. It's time now for another episode of The Glowing Dial, here on Yesterday, USA.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting. Use Gritto, radio friends. The soap that gives your hands that dishpan look. How will the old man know you've been working if your hands don't have that dishpan look? Put a box of Gritto in a glass of water. Then listen to it fizz. Dopes. Remember, Gritto spelled sideways is atragg. And now Gritto's own story of Sandra Sandpile, and here's Mud in Your Eye. Music.
I heard you on the wireless back in 52, lying awake intently tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology. And now I understand the problems you could see. I met your children. What did you tell them? Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Glowing Dial here on Yesterday, USA. Big John and Steve here to take you through another roughly 55 minutes of old-time radio memories and all kinds of fun stuff. Hello, Steve. Say hello to our listeners.
Hi, listeners. How are you doing? I'm doing great.
Well, too bad they can't actually answer you, but that's the way the radio biz goes.
I'm just imagining that they're all clapping and cheering for me and all the marvelous, wonderful things that I say.
Right. Well, you folks can sit down now if you like. Enough of the standing ovation. Anyway, we've got a wonderful show for you this time around, and I think let's just get right into it.
This is episode 27 of The Glowing Dial.
Wow. Well, for those of you who are keeping count at home, yes. So
we're getting up there.
Oh. And what is that in Roman numerals, Steve? XXVII. Ay. Lucy, take that dress back. Sorry. That was very weak. You can do better than that.
No, I don't want to blow the microphone.
Anyway, let's move right along to the first program we have in store here. Ooh. Actually, we're not in a store. We're at my apartment. But anyway, bump. Your turn, Steve.
Well, because it's the dark days of February, and we don't see the sun too much around these parts this time of year.
We don't even see the daughter either. No.
We thought we'd have a very dark show for you today. And John's even wearing black.
And no, it's not going to be dark fantasy. Sorry, we'll get to that one a little ways down the road. But
our first installment.
What are you barking at me for? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said ARF first.
Well, you do resemble a hydrant, so.
We'll get to that in a wee bit. Anyway, go ahead.
We'll flush that one.
Never mind.
The first episode is called a program called The Witch's Tale. Tale, not Tail. Though I suppose a witch could probably be ugly enough to have a tail. But
they haven't had tails in centuries now, so.
Yes, this is a tale, Tale, The Witch's Tale. It was shown on WOR, New York, and the Mutual Network. Shown? Well.
Okay.
Broadcast.
Yes, that's
probably a much better word.
Yeah.
1939. And this particular episode is called Four Fingers and a Thumb.
Well, very good. Well, without further ado, let's get into this if we can. If you will reach over to our good friend the McGee machine, who is going to, that is our wondrous radio that's going to tune in this program for us.
Okay, I'm over there.
Give it a click, and he should be warming up right about now. Oh, yes. Beautiful, beautiful static.
I hear it.
So, sit back, close your eyes, and remember the witch's tale, and we'll be back at you.
The Witch's Tale. The fascination of the eerie, weird, blood-chilling tales told by old Nancy, the witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat. They are waiting for you now.
Another 17-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, 117-year-old. Well, Satan, this be a nice night for one of our cheerful little bedtime stories, yes? Oh, Satan's got a yarn to fit just such a night as this. Satan, tell everyone to douse their lights. That's it. Now draw her up to the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into 'em deep, and soon you'll see a dusty road way out in California in the year of 1852. Now down that road you'll hear a horseman riding. As he rides into our story, we'll begin. And it's what we calls 4 fingers and a thumb. 4 fingers and a thumb.
Wait up for me, Burke.
I'm a-waiting, Dan.
Hey, it ain't no end to travel alone when I can find a sociable fella to talk to. You going to the mine on business?
Well, Cash sent in word by one of his Chinamen that he was itching to play a little stud poke this evening.
Yeah, like everybody else in these parts, I think he's a low-down, dirty skunk.
Well, if he wants to risk his money against mine, there's no reason why I shouldn't let him do it. Cash is a good card player.
Yeah, and the boys have got an idea that you're deliberately easy with him.
Well, they're entitled to their opinion, I reckon.
Burke, I want to talk to you like a Dutch uncle and to warn you.
Warn me?
Yes, you ain't deceiving anybody by your actions, Cash Felton least of all.
Dan, I guess I don't understand you.
Well, here it is in plain words, then. You're crazy about Cash's wife, and she's crazy about you. Cash is old enough to be her father, and someone ought to bash his head in for the way he treats her. Unless you come out bold and take her away from him mighty quick, he's going to get you some way.
Cash has no reason to be jealous of me. Decent women neither respect or fall in love with my kind, Dan. I make my living with my wits and 4 trained fingers and a thumb.
You're a square gambler, Dick Burke.
Well, how you getting along with the Chinese at the mine, Dan? Do you dislike them as much as ever?
And don't every decent white man in California despise the yellow devils, excepting you?
Well, they're mostly clean, conscientious, and honest.
Yeah, you wag your tongue too free sometimes defending them heathens. The general feeling again them is getting higher all the time.
You know, I lived in China for nigh on 5 years, Dan. Yeah, that's where I learned the fine points of gambling. And I also learned the Chinese are mighty fine people if you treat them right.
Maybe so. But you better not be spouting such ideas to anyone but a friend like me. Round here, if it was thought you looked on Chinamen as equals, you'd just have to close your card room and get out of town.
Yeah, I know. But I don't want to leave this town yet.
I know that. Well, there's Cash's house ahead of us. And it looks like Mrs. Pelton is standing by the road.
Yeah, I see.
Well, I'll turn off here. See you later, Bert.
Good night, Dan.
I've been watching for you, Mr. Daly. You must go back the way you came before Cash sees you.
Go back? Why, he sent word for me to come here.
I know. If you play cards with him tonight, no other white man in this county will ever play with you again.
Why?
He's got a Chinaman waiting in the house to join your game.
A Chinaman?
Yeah, Chang Lu, who's head man among the coolies. Oh, Cash hates you, Mr. Daly. If you play, it means to spread the word around and ruin you. And if you don't play, well, he's got a gun strapped on his hip, and he's been drinking.
But if I go away, he'll know you warned me.
Oh, he won't hurt me.
Say, why do you keep that side of your face turned away from me, Mrs. Pelton? You kept it so ever since you came to meet me. Let me see.
No.
I thought so. It's all bruised where he's hit you again.
Oh, Cash ain't ever hit me. And anyway, there's nothing you can do, nothing.
Oh, if only you'd give me the right. I've never said it before, but you've known it without my saying that I love you. Just as Cash has known it.
Oh, don't.
I'm dealing a square hand, Susan. Let me send you to my sister in Virginia till you get a divorce. Then let me come and marry you. Or marry some other fellow who's a whole lot better, just so as you could get away from this.
Oh, there couldn't be anybody better.
Susan, you mean...
Oh, I mean I married Cash Pelton for better or for worse, and there's nothing to be done about it.
There is.
No, please go away now.
Hey, Bert Daly. So my little wife went to meet you, Daly. Well, hurry up. My fingers are itching for the cards.
So am mine, Cash.
What are you going to do?
Play.
But it'll ruin you to play with a chink.
I'll gamble on that.
Oh, you mustn't.
Quiet.
Oh, come on, Daly. Table, cards, and whiskey all waiting. All you gotta do is lay your money down and meet the fellow who's gonna make our third. Come here, Chang Lu. I want you to meet a friend of mine.
This humble person is honored to stand before the most excellent Mr. Daly.
I am very pleased to meet you, Mr. Chang.
Huh?
And I shall be pleased to play cards with you.
You're willing to shake hands, too, with a Chinaman.
It's a custom to shake hands with the friends of your host.
I clasp esteemed hand in spirit which offers it. It is written that 4 fingers and a thumb extended in friendship greater than 10,000 hands coming with swords.
And another sage of your country has said, evil plans rebound upon the planner. I knew a namesake of yours, Mr. Chang.
You refer to the sorcerer, Chang Lu?
Sorcerer?
Yes. Are you of his family?
It is my privilege to honor a great man of whom you speak of his revered ancestor, wise student.
They say his magic powers were transmitted to his descendants. That'll make you a dangerous man to play stud poker with.
Sit down. And no one around here better try any magic with these cards.
4 fingers and a thumb which deal the cards are servants of the soul. They can only do evil if evil soul commands them.
That's also the case when a man's hand is doubled to hit a woman.
What do you mean by that?
I was just thinking. Cut for deal.
So, you get out of here.
Yes, Cash.
I've got a hunch this is gonna be my night, Mr. Daly.
Tonight, I'm out to win.
We may anticipate pleasant game.
Bet 100.
Them 3-5 you got shown don't look like much to me, Daly. My 2 pair raises you 100.
The wise man does not go to war unarmed. I prudently withdraw.
Let's raise it another 500, Cash.
If you got me beat again...
There's only one way to find out.
You can't bluff me. I'll see you.
Only see me? Haven't you got a full house, Cash?
Yes, I got a full house, and here it is. And if you got another 5 in the hole...
Here it is.
I never saw such luck. If it's only luck.
It's only luck and purpose. Your deal, Mr. Chang.
Well, I'm quitting for a while to stretch my legs.
Walking around your chair don't do much good, Cash. Why not try unbuckling that pistol from your belt? Guns in a friendly game is most unlucky to the wearers.
You never mind about this gun.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. It's you I'm thinking of.
Well, you better just think of yourself.
I'm
Daly.
thinking of me, too.
So, bring me another bottle of whiskey.
Yes, Cash.
It's pretty late. Be a good idea, don't you think, to let your wife go to bed and get some sleep instead of totting liquor.
You're giving a little more advice than is wanted round here, Daly.
I'm here tonight to give you only what you asked for.
What do you mean by that?
What do you think I mean?
Here's the whiskey, Cash.
I'll tell you what I think now, while she's here. So listen.
Cash.
So, you told him tonight was to be a showdown between him and me. That's why you sneaked outside to meet him. But you walked into it anyway, Daly, thinking you'd find a way to bluff yourself out. Well, you won't. Tomorrow I spread the news that you played cards with his heathen Chinese. And if that don't drive you out of town, I'm coming gunning for you.
You haven't nerve enough to gun for me.
By God, I'll do it now.
Don't draw that gun.
Not my wrist.
That's a trick I learned in China. And now you'll get your showdown.
Don't shoot.
No.
I don't use a pistol on an unarmed man. I'm going to throw this gun into that far corner, Cash, and the best man gets it. We start even now.
No,
Come on.
No,
I'm coming. You're...
Stop them, Chang-Lu. Stop them.
Man's destiny cannot be altered.
Don't stand there. Stop them.
A good clock does not strike before the hour.
Burke, he's drawn a knife. Fight fair, Cash, fair.
I'm gonna kill you, lover.
Chang-Lu.
Now destiny time is here.
Keep out of this, Chinese.
Look out, Chang-Lu!
That knife.
I got you now, Cash. Gotcha.
Burke.
A good blow. You have felled him into the land of sleep, Mr. Daly, from which he will presently return more sober, if no less evil.
If you hadn't have stepped in, he'd have got me.
There's blood dripping from your sleeve, Chang-Lu. His knife struck you.
A mere nothing for a friend.
Oh!
Susan!
Look, on the floor.
God!
Yes, his blow cut off my unworthy hand.
Chang-Lu!
Accept it as payment for 4 fingers and a thumb extended to one of a despised race in gracious spirit.
Get a bandage, Susan. Then run for old Dan and send him for a doctor.
Right away.
You trouble too much. Destiny cannot be altered.
Hold him, feed him.
But 4 fingers and a thumb, though severed, are still servants of the soul. Tell unworthy Mr. Cash Pelton that when he recovers...
What did he mean by that?
I don't know.
You're sure he's going to live, Burke?
You heard the doctor say we stopped the blood in time.
But maybe we should have stayed back with the chink in his shack.
He's better left with his own people. Chang-Lu has a mighty honored name among those Chinese. They'll take care of him.
They may avenge him, too. You told Cash that when he come to.
And I wasn't fooling. They know they can't expect any justice from the law around here.
You didn't tell him what Chang-Lu said to tell him, though, just before he fainted away.
Oh, that didn't make sense. We're almost back to your house, Sue. And your husband. If you never knew what sort of a rat he was before, you learned it tonight. Oh, you gotta let me take you to my sister in Virginia.
No, Burke.
Still for better or for worse, huh?
Yes.
Till death do us part is part of the marriage service, too. I can do something about that.
Oh, don't talk that way. Ain't I seen enough fighting and blood tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm not the killing sort anyway. If I was, I'd have finished Cash when I took his gun away.
I'm glad. That's why I really love you, Burke.
Oh, Susan.
Don't try to kiss me, please. As you can't kill, I can't cheat.
I know. Reckon fools like us just have to wait for destiny to help us out. Or finish us altogether.
When I was begging Chang-Lu to stop your fighting, He talked about destiny as if he could read it. You weren't serious tonight when you said his family were magicians.
If poor Chang had had any magic, he'd have used it to save his hand, I reckon.
Of course. But he said such funny things.
Here's the house. I'll take you inside.
But Cash...
I've got his gun and knife. Besides, he'll be too busy worrying what the Chinese are going to do with him to start anything new with me. Come on.
Burke, look on that door.
God. Chang Lu's severed hand. Someone's nailed it there.
And that someone was me.
Cash!
Why did you?
Step inside and I'll tell you.
He's got another gun.
You bet I have. Stick up your hands, Daly, and come inside, both of you.
Aren't you facing trouble enough as it is, Cash?
You two are going to get me out of trouble with them Chinamen.
What do you mean?
First, give me that pistol you took away tonight. And hold it by the barrel.
Burke.
Here it is.
That's fine. Now sit down. And don't worry, for I ain't gonna hurt you if you do just like I say. Before you, the doctor, and old Dan carried Chang Lu away from here, you told me plenty about what his people would like to do to me, Daly. But I've been thinking of a way to stop that, with your help.
I don't get you.
You will. I know something about Chinamen, the same as you. I know they're gamblers, and that every gambler hates a cheat. All of us are going to swear that I cut off Chang's hand because we caught him cheating.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, like a fox. Neither of you are going to be out of my sight until you tell that story where it's got to be told. And I'll have a gun on you every minute till you tell it.
They won't believe it if we do tell it.
I've thought of that. That's why I nailed that hand outside the door. It's going to be the clincher. When they see that, they're going to feel sure a man with nerve enough to put it there is in the right.
I'll never back you up in such a rotten lie.
If you don't, you'll get a bullet in your heart.
Cash!
I mean what I say. Someone's knocking. It may be the Chinese now. Open the door, Sue. And remember...
I'll do whatever you say, Burke.
He'll do what I say, too. Open that door.
There's no one here.
Someone knocked twice.
I know, but they're gone.
Well, let me see. Well, that's funny. No one in sight. Guess we didn't hear no knocking. Close the door.
There it is again.
What the...
There's still no one here.
But we heard it that time, sure.
There's old Dan.
He's the one who...
He's 50 yards away.
Dan, were you knocking at this door?
How could I be knocking? I just come to your house to tell you that Chang Lu is dead.
Dead?
Chang Lu?
The doctor said he'd get well.
The doc was wrong. Chang came out of his faint, asked the time, then said he'd be dead in just 5 minutes. And he was.
He knew when he was going to die?
Yep, and his last words was a message to you, Cash. Seems he wanted to tell you that 4 fingers and a thumb are always servants of the soul.
What?
That knocking again.
Beside me.
It's that hand on the door.
It's moving.
Pulling loose from the nail.
The thing's alive.
Oh, it's dropped to the ground.
It's coming towards me. It's climbing up your leg. Knock it loose. It wants to reach me throat. Ah!
It's falling off.
There it goes through the grass.
But it'll come back again. It'll come back to kill me. 4 dead fingers on a thumb. You sure it can't get in here? Oh, you're sure it can't get in?
You barred the doors, closed and shut at every window. And you've been over the house 100 times to make certain nothing bigger than a fly can enter.
But this is a dead thing. Ghosts can enter anywhere.
That hand is flesh and bone, Cash.
Yeah, dead flesh and bone that moves like something living. I can still feel its clutching fingers as it tried to clamber up my leg.
That was near an hour ago, and we ain't seen or nor heard it since. Maybe we'll never see it again.
No, it'll come back. Come back for me.
'Cause his soul is directing them 4 fingers and a thumb, just like he said. You won't leave me, you two? I'd go plumb crazy if I had to wait alone. Daly, I've even gone down on my knees to say I'm sorry for what I done to you and Sue. I'll go down on my knees again if you'll swear that you won't leave me.
Ah, for God's sake, stop that and try to be a man. We've said we'd stay. I wouldn't leave even you to face that thing alone. Though I still can't believe we really saw it.
We really saw it, Burke.
I saw it, heard it, felt it.
Oh, Dan ran away after it. It happened, Cash, and later we heard a galloping horse. He must have lit out for town to tell folks, and soon he'll be back here with help.
Folks can't help me again, the dead. I might be surrounded by an army, and still them fingers would come a-clutching for me. Oh, God. What time you say it was when it wrenched itself off that door and come for me?
Near 5 o'clock. Now it's almost 6.
An hour. It seems like 100 years. And I never meant to hurt it. It was just an accident. Accident.
You can't lie to the dead, Cash. You lunged at him deliberately with that knife because he came between you and me.
I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing.
You were drunk when you struck your wife. Drunk when you tried to shoot me. Yes, and I'd have had a bullet in my body if I didn't move faster than you. And Chang Lu is dead.
I know. Oh, God, forgive me. Chang Lu, forgive me. Say, an hour ago it was still dark night. Since then, the sun's been coming up. It's nearly day. We could blow out these lamps if we didn't have the shutters drawn. Maybe that's the reason we ain't seen or heard that hand no more. 'Cause the dead and their power is only strong in darkness.
Burke, that may be so.
I never thought of that.
It is so. While it's light, that thing can't come for me. And by the time it's dark again, I can be so far away it won't even find me. It's only a cut-off hand with just fingers and a thumb to pull it along. It can't follow a man on a good fast horse. Pack your things, Sue. We're getting away from here.
Oh, no. You can go, but T don't go with you.
Oh, yes, she does. And before we go, Mr. Daly, I ain't finished what I started on you last night.
Put down that gun, Cash. Burke's helped you, being your friend.
I don't need his help or friendship now, for I know I'm safe. I know I'm safe.
What?
Something knocked on the bottom of the door.
And something's moving outside the sill.
It's some kind of little animal. Maybe a rat.
Animals don't knock.
It can't be. Can't be.
Something white has been pushed under the door.
A piece of paper.
Get it. What is it? Look, there's a Chinese figure on it.
Yeah, traced in dried blood. It's the Chinese character for 6.
6? That means 6 o'clock.
That knock again.
1 knock for yes. 6 o'clock. It'll be that in just 3 minutes, and then the hand will come for me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
It can't get in this house. It can't.
Listen.
It's pulling itself up the doorframe by my ivy vine.
It can't get in here. It can't.
What was that?
A key turned in the lock.
Well, that won't help it. This door is barred inside.
Yes, you fool. But you left the key outside and it's locked us in.
That won't do no harm.
The thud.
It's dropped back to the ground.
And now it's pulling itself away.
How fast it moves. Like a rabbit jumping.
Maybe it's got some way to get in.
You barred every outside door and shut at every window.
Ah!
Glass!
In the next room.
The light in the hole in that shutter.
It squeezed through and broke the pane.
With that heavy door key.
It's coming this way.
Shut the door, quick!
Too late. It slipped by me. Get away from me. Away.
Shoot it!
Oh, bullets don't stop it, and it's almost 6 o'clock. It's got me in the corner, and I can't get away.
Here, keep your wits. It's only a hand. You can throw it off like it did before. Then we'll find some way to destroy it.
Burke!
Good Lord!
It's pulling that table cover under the lamp.
The lamp is fallen. Ah, the oil's on the clothes. I'm burning.
You gotta save him, Burke. Even a dog can't die like that.
I can't get to him. There's a wall of flame between.
The clock. The clock.
Oh, he shot himself.
We must get out of here, Sue. We'll be trapped like he was, and I haven't a gun. We'll burn to death. I've got the door unbarred. Come on! Oh, I forgot this door is locked outside.
Look, the hand.
It dropped the key at my feet.
Oh, now it's going towards the flames. It's in the fire.
I've got the door open. Come on!
Oh, Burke. Oh, Burke, we're free.
For better now and not for worse.
That voice.
I heard it too.
It is written that 4 fingers and a thumb extended in friendship is greater than 10,000 hands coming with swords.
Well, that's the end of that one, Satan. Sleep good till next time, little children.
Hi, this is Frank Brzee, Little Beaver on Old Time Radio's Red Rider. You're listening to The Glowing Dial with your hosts Big John and Steve, heard exclusively on Yesterday USA Radio.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that spooky episode of The Witch's Tale.
Oh, John, that was so scary.
I'm sorry.
Don't
Stop
play.
panting like a dog, if you would.
Don't play that anymore. That was so frightening.
Oh, my.
That was so scary. My teeth are still chattering.
Get a hold on yourself, because no one else will. Anyway, like I said, that from 1939, we don't have an exact date on that program. However...
Oh, that wasn't the scary part. I meant the Frank Brzee thing.
Well, Frank will be happy to hear that, sir.
Sorry, Frank.
Yeah. Leave it to Little Beaver. Anyway, sorry. We need to put in a little disclaimer. Of course, I mentioned that program was from 1939, and in it, I believe, were at least one that I remember, kind of racial type of comment, referring to the Chinamen. And we...
Our apologies to those Oriental Americans, but you must realize that was 1939.
That was a little more accepted at the time,
the language
sadly.
At that time was that time, and it's, of course, not acceptable today.
Correct. It's not politically correct then, but it was then, but is not now. Well, I could have said that better. Anyway, I think we have another program to get to here yet.
Really? Our time's not up yet?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Well, let's see what
Unless
I have here.
Bill has just yanked the tape out of the machine, we can still proceed. So what do we have lined up next?
I have to flip the page.
Mr. Archive.
I have to flip the page.
Well,
here.
he's practicing martial arts on the book over here
now. It's another scary
he's
one.
Flipping the page.
Yeah. Another scary show called Supernaturally Yours. I like that title. What do you think? You like that
Sounds
one?
like the way Barnabas Collins would sign a greeting card, you know?
Supernaturally Yours.
Supernaturally Yours, Barnabas Collins.
And the particular episode is called The Cyprian Cat, meaning that the cat is from Cyprus.
Yep.
One rare thing about this is that there's only 2 of these shows available.
Oh, well,
so you're hearing a very rare one, folks.
We have a rarity then for you, don't we?
So you must tape this one.
Yes, and it's actually very good quality, too. If the McGee machine cooperates here, we should have a good quality program for you.
Oh, it's nice and warmed up. It should work just fine.
And we don't have an air date on this one. Sorry, very little information. All we have is the show title and the episode name. But it's only one of 2 in production. In existence, in circulation, that is. So, Steve, reach over to our friend the McGee machine, who should be well warmed up and ready to tune in this program for us.
Is it ever warm? Ooh, yeah. It's nice and warm.
Well,
I might roast some marshmallows on it.
If it's that hot, we're in trouble, sir.
Oh.
Yes. Where is it? Come on
Must be that inner tube, isn't it? Oh.
Inner tube. Oh. There we go.
Reach down at the old swimming hole.
The Audion tube was a little slow there, folks. Sit back, close your eyes, and remember, Supernaturally Yours. And we'll be back with you.
darkness, the hours when ancient mysteries and strange happenings walk the hidden corridors of the earth. Here is he who tells these stories of the weird and strange. This is Supernaturally Yours. Tonight's story that is supernaturally yours is called The Cyprian Cat.
And so I'm going to be hanged. Hanged for shooting a cat. It's decent of you to come and see me, Harrison, though they tell me it's a hopeless sort of case. I've told them the whole story, but I'll tell it to you again. They don't believe me. I should make up something more plausible. But what's the use? I'd fall down somewhere if I tried to swear to a lie. What I'm going to tell you is the absolute truth. Harrison, I fired one shot, and one shot only. And that was at the cat. As I told them, Meridew and I had been friends since we were boys. Though we drifted apart, we always kept in touch. 2 years ago, he wrote and told me he was getting married, and he was tremendously in love. At first, his letters to me were deliriously happy. Later, he seemed disturbed about his wife's health. She was restless. Town life didn't suit her. And they planned to go to an inn out in the country that she liked. Well, last month, Meridew wrote and asked if I could join them for the 3 weeks of my vacation. He was anxious to see me and have me meet Felice and keep her company while he worked on a new dam as a civil engineer. They were in a rather remote spot, Harrison. It sounded restful, and it was so hot in town I decided to go. The train was crowded, and I found myself in the first-class smoker with 3 other people. An elderly man, a woman with a lot of bags and baskets, and seated next to her, a girl. Yes, it should have been a peaceful journey. Well, Harrison, it wasn't. And that was because of my miserable phobia. I'm one of those unfortunate people who can't stand cats. I mean, knowing a cat's in the same room with me makes me feel like nothing on earth. Makes my skin crawl. Makes me ill. I just can't describe it. With others who feel the way I do about cats, the dislike is usually mutual. But not so with me. Remember this, Harrison. Cats find me fascinating and make a beeline for me all the time. Well, I figured the elderly lady had a cat in one of the baskets, and I tried to get my mind off it by studying the girl opposite me. And she was worth looking at, too. Very slim and dark, with a dead white skin. Her eyes were astonishing, Harrison. I've never seen anything like them. Very pale brown, almost amber, set wide apart, and a little slanting. They seemed to have a luminous quality of their own. Does all this sound as if I were attracted? Well, I wasn't. She held no sort of appeal for me. She was unusual, that's all. But though I tried, I couldn't shake off the awful feeling of a cat's presence. And I had to go out into the corridor. Now, I tell you all this, Harrison, to clarify the rest of the story. How I feel about cats. And how I came to buy the revolver. Well, we pulled into the station, and just the girl and I got out. And there was Meridew waiting. The girl was Mrs. Meridew. Now I noticed more about her. What an attractive, low voice she had, and how her movements were lithe and graceful. And I understood, though I didn't share Meridew's infatuation. Well, he said the place suited him wonderfully. Felice had a new lease on life, and that he felt fit. But Harrison, I thought he looked tired and tense. In the inn was fine. Long low casement opening on the garden. I was tired and turned in early. But I couldn't sleep. I was restless. It was hot. I went to the window for a breath of air and to admire the moon-drenched garden. And then I saw them. The cats. Rolling and twisting and jumping in shadows like some kind of weird ritual dance in the moonlight, and then snaking so silently away. Silently. The way cats do. I went back to bed sleepless, my nerves on edge. And as I lay there, I began to hear something. A muffled rustling noise that seemed to come from the ivy that ran along my window. Nearer and nearer and nearer, till it landed with a soft thud on the sill. A great Cyprian cat. Harrison, I've never seen such a monster. One of those striped gray and black cats they call Cyprus or Cyprian. There it stood, its head cocked, staring into the room at me. I couldn't stand it. I chased it and it went off without a sound. And finally I slept. Well, the next day, Harrison, we drove out to see the dam. And it was then I saw that Felice still wasn't cured of her nervousness. It seems we had to cross some planks laid over a stream. It was neither wide nor dangerous, but Felice refused to cross it. When Meridew tried to insist, she became hysterical. Well, we finally calmed her and said she could wait for us. That was all. But it's strange, wasn't it? Her morbid fear of running water. So there are two of us now with our own phobias. As for me, it would have been perfect at Little Hexham if every night the garden hadn't been haunted by the cat. Well, Harrison, as I've said before, my relations with Felice were perfectly ordinary. Meridew was out all day, and I spent a good deal of time in her company. But I liked her, that's all. She was not talkative. She would sit or lie for hours in the sunshine, hardly speaking, only stretching her body out to the light and heat. And sometimes she would spend a whole afternoon lazily toying with a twig or a pebble. And yet, somehow, to me, she was not a restful person. It's peculiar, but true. Oh, yes, Harrison, about the revolver. I bought that at Kingston. We drove there one day, and browsing in a second-hand shop, I saw this small revolver. They're anxious to make a sale, made no bones about a license. But when I casually said I meant to take a pot shot at a couple of cats, he seemed to all at once wake up. And he asked where I was staying, and I told him Little Hexham. I remember he said, "You best be careful, sir. They think a heap of their cats there, and they say it's unlucky to kill them." And then he mumbled something about a silver bullet. Yes, to that I swear, Harrison, a silver bullet. Well, that night the thunder came, and we were all in a state of nerves. Meridew was sullen. Felice was wrought up to a queer kind of excitement. And I had the feeling the house was full of cats. Well, I went up to my room and I opened my window for a breath of air. It was pitch dark, and as I stood there, Harrison, as I stood there, I got that foul sensation of sickness. The flesh crawled on my bones, and I knew that one of them was slinking close to me in the dark. I turned, and there she was. The great Cyprian on the sill. Her eyes gleaming like green lights. I yelled and struck, and she snarled, and she leaped out. And all at once the storm broke, thundering and lightning. And I became aware then of a wild pounding at my door. It was Meridew, terrified and sobbing, "It's Felice. She's ill. I can't wake her. You've got to help me." Well, Harrison, we ran to their room, and there in bed lay Felice, with only a sheet upon her. She was stretched flat on her back, her long black hair on her shoulders, her face waxen and shrunk, like the face of a corpse. And her flesh was cold. She seemed as if she were drugged. It was like handling a dead woman. And then we became aware of something outside the window. A stealthy scraping on the pane. And on the sill, the Cyprian cat sat and clawed at the window. Her drenched fur clung to her body, her eyes glaring, her mouth open in a howl. Well, Harrison, she scratched the glass as though possessed. I cursed her and turned away. She set up an incessant, weird, despairing wail, as if she had to get into that room. Well, Meridew went for a doctor, and I kept trying to revive Felice. Then I remembered I had a small brandy flask in my room. As I ran to get it, the cat suddenly stopped howling. In my room, I rummaged for the flask in the dark, when I heard a loud, triumphant mew and turned to see the Cyprian cat on my sill. It sprang in, flew past me, and out the door. Well, Harrison, I found the flask and rushed back, just as Meridew came running up the stairs. As we entered, Felice stirred, sat up, Harrison, and asked us what was the matter. I was too stunned to speak. Well, the next day, none of us mentioned the previous night. Felice was in the best of spirits. We were all on good terms. Ask Meridew. There was nothing to suspect. Nothing. And now, Harrison, the rest I'll never understand. That night, we all turned in early. It was a moonlit night. For once, no mewing came to trouble me. I didn't even bother to shut the door or window. I put the revolver on my bed. Yes, it was loaded, but I only meant to go at the cats if they started up again. And then, about midnight, I heard what I'd been half expecting. That stealthy creeping in the ivy, and that faint meowing. I reached for the revolver. The big cat sprang up on the ledge. I aimed and fired, and the beast let out one horrible screech and sprang into the room. The shot had sounded terrific in the silent house. And Harrison, somewhere I heard a distant voice cry out. I jumped up and pursued the cat, holding my revolver with some idea of finishing it off. And then at the door of Meridew's room, I saw Felice. She stood with one hand on each doorpost, swaying. Then she fell down at my feet. Her chest was all stained with blood. And as I stood paralyzed, staring at her, clutching the revolver, Meridew came out and found us. Like that. I can't help it if others at the inn say they never saw the Cyprian cat. Meridew did. Harrison, I can't help it if the trail of blood led from my room to hers. I know it was the cat I shot. Search the house, Harrison. Pull it to pieces. Find the Cyprian cat. And you'll find my bullet.
The book is closed. The story over. And so, until next time we meet in the hours of darkness, ghoulies and ghosties and long-legged beasties and things that go bump in the night. May heaven deliver us. We remain supernaturally yours.
Hi there, this is Bill Bragg, the man with a million friends, and you're listening to The Glowing Dial with my good friends Big John and Steve, right here, right now, on Yesterday, USA.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bragg, and we are back with you, folks. Boy, I hope you enjoyed that, Supernaturally Yours, from, I'm not sure when, but it sounded like I heard some sounds of transcription disc surface noise in there, so must have been in the 40s. Actually, pretty well preserved. Good quality sound on that. Anyway, grab a writing implement, folks, and something to write on.
I got one.
Right on. Back to the 70s on that one,
man.
eh? Yes. Because a good friend of ours, Mr. Fred Foy, is standing by to tell you how you can get in touch with us.
Ooh,
so, without
how?
further ado, Fred, my friend, take it away.
This is Fred Foy, here to tell you how you can get in touch with the Glowing Dial. Big John and Steve want to hear from you. They'd like your comments and suggestions and any requests you may have. You can contact them by any of the following means. Send email to glowdial@ix.netcom.com or by phone by calling 810-774-0112. That's 810-774-0112. Or send snail mail to the Glowing Dial, 29121 Lund, Warren, Michigan 48093. Write or call now. Big John and Steve are waiting to hear from you.
It's a beautiful day. Spend it right here with Yesterday USA Superstation.
Well, that's going to about do it for us here, folks, on the Glowing Dial. I hope you've enjoyed the program today. And please write to us and let us know what you'd like to hear as far as programming here on the Glowing Dial. If we have it, we'll get it on for you. And if we don't have it, we will go looking for it and find it for you. So,
Here, boy. Where are you?
I'm right here.
I'm looking for the program that they requested.
Well, never mind. Folks, I'm also looking for a new sidekick. So,
you wouldn't.
Yes, write to the address you heard Fred Foy say if you'd like to. Anyway, like I said, keep a positive thought. Keep looking up. And this is Big John and Steve saying, we'll see you on the radio. Bye-bye.
Yesterday USA Superstation.